What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/IDoWorkHereLady. Alright, this story's called Supervisor Karen Doesn't Understand That I Do Work Here. So this will be my first post here. I was explaining this to a few friends and they suggested that I go and post this here. Let's get some of the basics out of the way. Here's the cast, there's me, Supervisor Karen, a whole bunch of other voices that I don't know yet. Prologue. Alright, so the story starts off with myself and my coworker. At the time, we both worked in California in G4S, or Guards for Service, which is a pretty big security company. I was on graveyard at the time. This wasn't my main post I was at. I was just sent here to give a hand with a guard that called off, and apparently the supervisor wasn't given any information on my arrival. Main story. This was before Brovid was a thing back in 2019. It was peak season in November, and I was a guard that was asked to come take up a post at the Farmer Joe's Distribution Center in Bloomington, California. It was a graveyard post, and my friend that I knew for years had been working at this post. Now, the field manager had called me in and asked if I could work here for the night, which at the time I didn't mind taking the extra overtime. After I was shown around at the time by the shift supervisor that was there, I was let off to go about my business like any other person. It was a 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. shift. Yes, 10 hours. Yay. It all started at around 1 a.m. when the head supervisor came, which in the company is known as a post commander, and all guards are required to call the post commander by their rank, which is captain. I refused to call someone captain unless they served. Yeah, minded my own business in the Trader Joe's yard, helping trucker back into their gates, until I heard someone coming up behind me, and all of a sudden, hearing a yell. "Excuse me, who the flippity-doo are you?" My name is Kyle. Nice to meet you. I was told to come work this shift by another manager. No, I asked for someone specifically. I didn't ask for a fat ass like yourself. Now, at this moment in time, I was getting pissed off because of her general rudeness and questioning in my mind. Someone specific? Well, they sent me, and I'm sorry you didn't get who you wanted, but I'm only here to do a job that the field manager sent me out to do. Well, you can kindly escort yourself off the property for trespassing, as I did not request for you to come to my site, mister. Otherwise, you'll leave me no choice but to call the police. Sorry, but as required by the field manager, I'm to stay at the post until the end of my shift. I was asked to do a job, and I will be doing the job regardless. You can call the police if you want. I'll call the field managers. Now, I was pissed and wanted nothing more from her, but she actually did call the police on me. They showed up roughly 30 minutes later. Police Officer 1 shows up with partner, which is Police Officer 2. What's the commotion all about? Sir, if I may, before I could continue, Karen shouted out to the cops and interrupted me talking. Officers, you need to arrest this man immediately. He threatened to kill me with a knife, and he's trespassing on this property. I give a massive sigh as both the officers were confused because I am clearly wearing a G4S standard issue uniform that has all the patches on the uniform. But because they heard knife, this is what happened. Police Officer 2 pulls out a handgun. On the ground now! Hands behind your back! Police Officer 1 follows by placing handcuffs on me. Now, even though I'm restrained, the second officer still has the gun pointed at me like I'm an active threat with metal cuffs on me. I'm not gonna lie, I nearly crapped myself because I thought I was gonna get shot for no reason. I did indeed have a pocket knife on me, but that was mainly because I had a backpack full of munchies that I used the knife to open the bags with, but it was literally a keychain pocket knife. Police Officer 1 searches my pockets and finds the knife and escorts me back to the vehicles, where I am then placed in the back of the vehicle, still in handcuffs. At this point in time, my friend comes to see what the commotion is all about. Hey officers, what's going on here? Mister is being placed under arrest for possession of a deadly weapon and charged with threatening that woman over there of killing her. He also is charged with trespassing. Wait, what? Deadly weapon? What are you talking about? And he would never threaten someone's life even if he hated them. He's not that kind of person that would want that to happen. And he's not trespassing. He was asked to come work here. Well, that woman over there claims that he threatened her and that he's trespassing on his property. Sir, I can assure you that none of this is true. He was called up on his day off to come down here and work. If he wasn't supposed to be working, he wouldn't be here. Well, if you can find me the evidence that supports these claims, then I will release him. Until then, it's a he said, she said situation, and he did have a knife on him. I'm still sitting in the back of the car with the door opened. I asked my coworker to call the field manager and have her come down here immediately. I also told him to grab the Trader Joe's manager to pull surveillance tapes, as where I was standing with the supervisor, there was a camera there with audio. Friend pulled out his phone and called the field manager and told her of the situation. Then he rushed inside to grab the building manager. Police officers 1 and 2 are both talking with the Karen, a little bit away from the vehicle, and I can barely hear. But I guess one of the police officers called for a supervisor of their own. Shortly, a second police car shows up, and it's the police sergeant. He came to the window where I was sitting patiently and waiting, and asked my side of the story, and I told him everything. Finally, the field manager shows up with our office's regional director. Friend comes outside with the manager of the building. Everyone pretty much calmly talks at this point, since there were so many stories being thrown around. Field manager said to me, "Why are you in the back of the police car?" "Well, that's why I had friend call you. It's because that psycho beach tree decided to have the cops called on me for trespassing, and added an extra decision by telling the cops that I threatened her with a knife." Field manager and director both look towards the police and gets their attention.
"Officers, this is all a big misunderstanding. OP was called on his day off to come work at this post, as per asked by field manager."
"All right, well, that doesn't explain the threat with the knife,"
Manager of the building says.
"I could take you inside, where I could show you the cameras which have audio recording."
Police sergeant and building manager go inside to look over the footage. Now at this point in time, you can see Karen screwed up because she turns pale frickin' white, knowing she's just gotten herself in trouble. Police sergeant returns and pulls me out of the car and takes the handcuffs off of me, then hands me back my knife and my backpack.
"All right, I've reviewed the footage and there is no hostile threats from you. All charges are going to be dropped and you're free to go."
Thank you, officer. I appreciate your assistance with this matter. Police sergeant walks over to Karen and places handcuffs on her.
"You're under arrest for lying to law enforcement, filing a false police report, and calling for false emergency."
After the whole situation went down, the stupid dumbass Karen went to jail that night. I didn't ever see her again. I went to a meeting with my manager, the field manager, and the director. They told me the situation had been handled and offered me the post commander position there. I asked what happened to Karen, even though I really didn't care. They told me she was released the next day and completely fired and banned from ever applying with G4S. I then turned down the request for post commander as the drive alone would kill my gas. 2 weeks later, I left G4S, got a better paying post in Allied Universal, and the drive was 3 times closer than my last post. Plus, I've decided it was time. I went back to college and am now working on my bachelor's degree in aerospace engineering. Lesson to be learned here: never take it over the edge until you've gotten the information and facts first. I mean, personally, I'm gonna stay being trigger happy with literally everything because that's fun, and I don't care if it leaves my life in ruin. It's better than not doing nothing. I mean, definitely not better than thinking out my decisions, but like I said, I don't care. Alright, this story's called "I Do Work Here. Why are you acting so entitled?" Hey Reddit! So, since you guys liked my last post in r/IDoWorkHereLady, I decided to share a story of when I actually worked at my dad's restaurant. Just a quick recap, my dad owns a restaurant in China that also has a bakery. I am trying to keep everything as vague as possible because of privacy reasons. This event took place last summer. I was actually hired by my dad to help the 2 ladies in the bakery. I was getting paid. We are going to call them Susan and Lindsay. Now, this bakery isn't like most others because this one focuses on cakes and other desserts. People could throw parties at the restaurant and chose a day that comes with a cake. Birthdays, graduations, reunions, anniversaries. Parents could also drop their kids off to learn how to make cookies or cakes. One day I was in the bakery with the AC on, relaxing and minding my business. It is hot in China, especially in the summer, when a woman walks up to the bakery wearing all black. How does she survive in all black at like 40 degrees? For now, we are going to call her Karen, like last time. Quick note, Susan was off buying more cream at the market nearby, and I had no idea where Lindsay went. Karen not even looking at me. I want a triple layer cake by 6 o'clock tonight, and I want to drop my daughter for a lesson. She can help make the cake. Then she looked at me and did a double. Probably because I looked too young to be there. Also, I wanted to make clear that she did not choose the celebration deal, because if she did, the manager would tell me, and people usually order those a few days in advance. Great, ma'am. That should be around 451 in total. Because she is a customer of the restaurant, she was drinking tea with a huge group of people, she gets a discount for the cake and lessons. You must be lying. I know it doesn't cost that much. I am a paying customer. You probably don't even work here. You only look like you are in high school. Yes, ma'am, I do work here. And because you are a customer, you actually get a discount. This is the lowest price. I know the owner. He said to give me a lower price. Then, the memories of last time hits me. I was angry. Very angry, but I still put on my best customer service smile, hoping that Susan would come back soon. Ma'am, you need some proof that the owner said to give you a discount, and he needs to tell me. No, I don't need to. Who do you think you are? I do not trust you. You are probably here to scam me. Ma'am, calm down. Karen looks at her phone and fakely gasps. The owner is on a business trip and he said I can have a discount. I knew it was bull because my dad was up on the 3rd floor playing mahjong. Ma'am, can you please give me proof? No. Then, unfortunately, I can't do anything. Luckily, at this point, Susan finally came back. Hi, can I help you with anything? Yes, I want a triple layer cake and my daughter to take a lesson today, but this child is pretending that she works here and has given me an unreasonable price. Ma'am, she does work here, and the total price is around 500 yuan. I didn't even correct her about the price because Karen was being so rude to me. But she said it was 450 yuan. Oh, she must have got confused. It's actually 500 yuan. Susan looked at me with a smirk. Karen grumbles and agrees to pay that much. Her daughter later came and was also very stuck up, but only to me. She acted like she knew everything about baking, but didn't even know what goes into a cake. I don't blame her because she was raised by a pretty crazy person. Honestly, the amount of people who pretend that they know the owner surprises me. Although these two events happened a few years apart. Thank you for reading this long story. Have a nice day. No, you have a nice day. That's a funny story. She tried to, and then she got a big sucker. Alright, this story's called The Professor. It was the first day of a new semester at university. As a student in business administration, that was my major, business administration marketing specialty. One of the new courses had to do with hospitality management, more specifically, restaurant management, and was being taught by a new professor. As is common with the first day of class, especially with new professors, we were asked about whether we had any previous experience on the subject of the class, or anything close to it, be it work experience, other courses, etc. During which I stated that I had worked 4 years at a seaside hotel nearby and had gotten to see different parts of the whole managerial process from different points of view. What came next was this conversation in front of the entire class. Oh, you've worked at Hotel X? Yeah, I've worked a bunch of different posts there during summers. How did you feel about working there? I've not heard the best about the higher-up management. Well, I personally had no problem with management. They're family after all, and I know that after so long, people can feel like family. But still, my mentor is a close family member to the owners, and he has told me many stories about them and how they manage the hotel in not the best of ways, how they can be at times weird, etc. While she was going on and on about that, some of my friends who knew what was about to happen were looking at me wide-eyed, others smirking, and I was just laying back on my seat waiting for her to finish. I don't think you heard me right, miss. The management, the owners, they are my family. The owner is my grandmother. Never have I seen someone's face more instantaneously change between feelings and colors. First confusion, then realization, then embarrassment, and of course a few gasps from those who weren't in the know. After a good few seconds of silence, she turns to me and she just says under her breath, almost like a whisper, "I'm so sorry." I just laughed it off and she just continued. After we were dismissed, I went and told her it's all good and to not worry about it. She told me that she just said what she was told from her mentor, who ended up being a second cousin of my grandma that we have almost no connection to whatsoever. Lesson to learn: don't talk crap about places you've never been to people you don't know. Well, from what they said that the professor said, it didn't seem like they were talking crap. They were just voicing their criticisms of a place that I don't think they said anything bad, honestly. If the management there is bad, then the management there is bad. You having family there doesn't change it. Although she probably should have let OP finish talking, so that could have been it. But other than that, I don't really, whatever. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.